What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. It is a very, very late night stream. I'm not going to be doing a lot of videos on the channel this week because I got a lot of stuff to do this week. But I'm currently editing a prediction video for Kai Kara France versus Askar Askarov. Well, I'm not editing, I'm rendering it. I just finished recording it. And I'm rendering it out in 4K, so it takes a bit because I do the best possible quality on most of my prediction videos. So it's probably going to take, I think it's roughly like a 13-minute video, 12, something like that. So it's going to take a bit just because of the 4K and the best resolution possible. So I figured, why not do a stream while I'm waiting? I know it's super random. I'm gonna be shocked about who all joins tonight. I let everyone know in the members Discord that I was streaming tonight, so hopefully some of the members join up. But I figured we can talk about whatever. I actually got a little bit of a headache right now, but I'm gonna sit. I cannot, even when I click render on a video, I could just leave it and just go to bed. But once I commit to doing a video, I like to get it recorded, get it edited, get it rendered, and get it uploaded, and get all the description and title made, the end cards made, get the thumbnail made. I just don't like leaving something unfinished. So, it's a long process. Even for a 12, 13-minute video, you have a long process to continue to, get everything done. So, yo, what's up, MMA Joey? First viewer and first like. Thank you, Dixie. Homework, what's going on? What's up, Niles? Thank you for joining me. Leo, what's going on, man? Thank you so much for joining me. I want to see the Colby Jorge video if that exists. What is that about? What is that about? I didn't watch the video in the Discord. What did he say? Or here, hold on, let me check it out real quick. Give me 1 second. Hold on. I'm going to check out. I'm assuming it's in reference to this video you sent in the Discord. So let me check it out real quick.
Face challenge, what's up? I'm from Bay County. Talk that shit. You gotta back it up. That's how my city goes, man.
I don't get it. Why did he post that? I don't get it. That video wasn't even entertaining. But as always, guys, don't forget to like the stream. Like the stream. I would greatly appreciate it. You guys will be getting the Kai Kara France video, prediction video tomorrow. Maybe a Dan Hooker video tomorrow. I don't know. It all depends. It all depends on a few things. But fill the chat with questions. I see Niles has a question here. Does Khamzat get a title shot if he wins against Burns? Kamaru speaking out saying Khamzat needs more fights. Do you think Kamaru is trying to avoid the fight with Khamzat? I'm iffy. Kamaru Usman, while he's been talking about dumb shit nonstop. First part of the question. Khamzat Chimaev unequivocally gets a welterweight title shot if he defeats Gilbert Burns. As far as Kamaru avoiding him, I don't like some of the things he's been saying, outlandish shit he's been saying. But I do believe that if the UFC, if that's the fight the UFC wants to make, Kamaru Usman has accepted every fight that the UFC's ever offered him. I mean, I don't know exactly what's going on, but you look, he's been fighting all the legit challengers at welterweight. Colby was saying he was trying to avoid him. He fought Colby twice. So I think inevitably we will see Khamzat Chimaev versus Kamaru Usman if Khamzat is able to defeat Gilbert Burns and Leon Edwards is not able to defeat Kamaru Usman. But it's hard to say. I don't think Kamaru Usman is going to actively try to avoid him. I know he's been saying some weird stuff, but you look at the guy, he's fought everyone in the welterweight division at this point in time. Jorge Masvidal twice. People were saying he was scared of Jorge. He fought Colby twice. People were saying he was scared of Colby. I think when push comes to shove, to use a cheesy saying, I think that Kamaru Usman will accept a fight with Khamzat Chimaev. And outside of being nervous about losing, I think it's in his best interest because I believe that Khamzat Chimaev is the biggest fight in the welterweight division as far as pay-per-view sales. And Kamaru Usman keeps talking about wants to get paid. Well, the more pay-per-views you sell, the more you get paid. So I don't think Usman's ducking Khamzat. I reserve the right to change my mind. But right now, I mean, Khamzat definitely has to win more fights. But when you get a big step up in competition like Gilbert Burns and you are able to defeat them, if he is able to defeat him, then I have no problem with him getting a title shot. Normally I wouldn't say, okay, he's what, 4 fights in the UFC, only, wait a second, no, 1, 2, 3, 4. He'll be honest, this was his 5th fight in the UFC, right? Because he fought the 2 trash cans when he entered, John Phillips and Reese McKee. Then he fought Gerald Mearshart, then Li Jingliang, and now Gilbert Burns. So 5 fights in the UFC. That's rare that you would get a title shot off of that. But you take out a guy like Gilbert Burns, and I think 100%, especially if he does it in an emphatic fashion, I think he does deserve the next title shot. I will be 100% behind it, and I think it'll be super compelling. How rare is it that we see a guy come into the UFC and blaze his way up the ladder that quickly? And he arguably would have done it sooner if he didn't get sick, because had he beat Leon Edwards, had he gotten that Leon Edwards fight, which was scheduled 3 times, and won that fight, then he could have already fought Usman probably before Colby, in my opinion. Because the end of 2020, had he beat Leon, in between there, you had the second Jorge fight, you had the second Colby fight. Khamzat could have gotten that title shot right then and there. So we'll see what happens. You never know. Khamzat could lose. Usman could lose to Leon. There's something in my gut telling me that Leon's somehow going to upset Usman and Khamzat's going to beat Burns. And the world is going to be set right. And we are going to get Khamzat Chimaev versus Leon Edwards for the UFC welterweight title, which is just going to be absolutely insane to me. So we'll see what happens. If Khamzat destroys Burns and all of a sudden Usman's like, I'm not fighting him, which there's no way he's going to do that. He'd be stripped of the belt. His what's the word I'm looking for? His legacy, whatever that may be, would be tarnished. He'd be the laughing stock. The cult-like sycophants for Khamzat Chimaev would go on full-blown attack. And then on top of that, if that's a fight the UFC wants to make, they would force his hand, either strip him or force him to take the fight one way or another. It would happen. Okay, let's continue on. I'm glad I caught the stream tonight. Yeah, it's just a random stream. I'm rendering out my Kai Kara France versus Askar Askarov prediction video. That'll be out tomorrow. And while I wait, I figured I'd jump on the stream for about a half hour or so. How do you see Kayla Harrison matching up with Amanda Nunes and if the UFC signs her? It's not going to happen. Kayla Harrison has already re-signed with PFL. But I believe that, you'd asked me this 6 months ago. I'd have said Nunes would beat her. But after the Juliana Pena law, I think Kayla Harrison is just ginormous. And I think the way to beat Nunes is take her down. I think it's a close fight, honestly. Either Nunes goes out there and starches her on the feet, which is very possible, or Harrison ragdolls her to the ground, controls her, beats her up, and maybe submits her, but I think she would win by TKO ground and pound or probably by decision. But that's all for naught because Kayla Harrison is staying with PFL. Predictions on Font versus Vera. I'm probably going Rob Font. I think this fight is going to be contested on the feet, and I think that Rob Font's probably the better striker at this point in his career. Got a lightning fast jab, just pumping it out constantly. Vera almost got beat by Frankie Edgar up until the KO. I know that's a different type of fight. He was getting out grappled there, but I lean Rob Font. I reserve the right to change my mind. Is O'Malley's next opponent ranked or unranked poll? Okay, man. Okay. Is Sean O'Malley's... You guys love talking about Sean O'Malley, huh? Next opponent. Ranked Unranked. Hold on. I don't know how to phrase this question. Is Sean O'Malley's next opponent? I'm just doing it like that. Go vote in the poll. The beat in Taporia has to be next. I would love that. Damn late night stream. Yes, Tally, appreciate you joining me. Thank you for being a member. Do fighters like Hooker, Barboza, Garbrandt move back up a weight class? I think that's probably best. You know, changing weight class is probably what's best for him at this point in time, I would say. But, I mean, usually it's tough when you move down a weight class. You get starts, and then, you know, you're like, oh, well, let me move back up, you know, after you just moved down because you were getting starts at the other weight class. It's a tough spot to be in. Perfect time when I'm stoned. Fair enough. Honestly, I thought if Leon and Chimaev wins, they do an immediate trilogy. But now looking at it, Dana White wouldn't do it. He would immediately give Khamzat the shot and let Usman wait. I'm sure. I think he would. Did it with Stipe Francis? Yes. I'm taking Kai by KO. He won me money last time when he KO'd Cody. Fair enough. What's up, Joey? What's going on, Sean Johnson? I hope you're doing well. I feel like maybe Usman thinks Khamzat will probably beat him. I mean, it's definitely a tough matchup for him, you know. But Usman's fought all the top fighters, you know, for quite a while now. So I'm gonna wait until the fight is actually there, and it doesn't happen, to start the criticism. You know, I'm just gonna pump the brakes on it for right now. Let's see where my rendering is at. We're at 68%. I still want to see Patty versus Jim Miller. I think that's a fun fight. O'Malley versus Pedro Munoz should be next. I like that fight. I'm not complaining about that fight. Let's see if it goes back. Let's see if it's back. All right, guys, can you hear me? For some reason, my internet went out temporarily. I don't know what happened there. I had to reconnect, but I should be back now. It looks like everything's working. Apologies for that. Now I don't even remember what we were talking about. I don't remember what we were talking about, but I am back. I don't know what happened. I'm super annoyed. That shit infuriates me when it happens. I don't know why it happens. I just looked over, and my internet was completely out, and it would not reconnect. So, thank you guys for bearing with me. We'll get back to the questions. Continue to submit the questions in the chat. I would greatly appreciate you. Don't forget to like the stream, even though we're having technical difficulties, and it's super annoying. It's infuriating to me. I sent a message through my phone because I couldn't even send a message through here because I had no internet on there. So, okay, let's get back to the questions and just try to put that behind us, even though I'm super infuriated about it. There's very few things that get me angry. The internet going out during the stream infuriates me. Infuriates me. This is me mad right now. So I'm just going to read the questions and forget about all that. Okay, let's end this poll first off. 53% says it'll be an unranked opponent. Okay. O'Malley versus Pedro Munoz should be next. Okay, we talked about that. Do you think more fight night cards should happen outside the Apex? I think they will. I don't necessarily care too much, but I do like having the live crowd. But it's not the end of the world for me. It doesn't affect me too much. I like Arnold a lot, but honestly, his chin's there to be hit, and I don't know how he'd fare against Cater. Fair enough. That's an interesting fight. To fight the unranked champ, you must be unranked. Joe, in my opinion, all the best contenders for Usman lower in the rankings. Okay. I'm trying to think who specifically you're talking about, but I don't feel like pulling up the rankings right now. Let me know in the chat. O'Malley versus Taporia. They're two different weight classes. Taporia is too big for him. I mean, honestly, I'd like to see it, but it's not going to happen. Taporia is 45, 55. Yeah, I think Taporia really should stay at 45, even though he just recently fought at 55. Guys, by the way, don't forget to like the stream. I know we had some difficulties there for a little bit, but do me a favor and like the stream. It would help me quite a bit. It helps push this out to more and more people. And we end up growing the channel, get more people in the chat. I'm uploading my video now. It just finished up. So let me go upload that real quick. And then I will just be answering questions. Okay. What was I answering? Oh, okay. The lower in the rankings, O'Malley versus Topuria, not going to happen. Does Yanez fight a ranked opponent yet? Next. I think so, but I'm not sure. Bantamweight is stacked. Mokaev is going to be a flyweight Chimaev. We'll see. It's so early to tell right now. Do you see Henry Cejudo matching up with Peter Yan? Do you mean how do I? Or do you mean do I see it happening? I do not see it happening, but I think Piotr Yan is able to avoid the wrestling of Cejudo and light him up on the feet. Body kicks, leg kicks, punches to the face. I think Piotr Yan defeats Henry Cejudo pretty easily. I'm seeing Darren Till all over the media. Do you think he's going to flop? Gets kind of annoying seeing him everywhere. He's already flopped in my opinion, to be quite honest. He's already flopped in my opinion. But I think the UFC is going to give him a favorable matchup in his next fight. But when you're in the UFC, there's only so many favorable matchups. Yes, I'm back. I'm catching up to the questions now. Do me a favor, guys. Keep posting questions in the chat. I would greatly appreciate it. Commentary was saying Paul Craig could be a future champion. Thoughts on Paul Craig versus Anthony Smith? I do not think Paul Craig can be a future champion. Glover Teixeira would wreck him. If you can avoid his ground game, it's better off that way. But he could beat Anthony Smith. Sometimes Anthony Smith has laxes in what he's doing, and he could get caught in a submission. And also, Anthony Smith's not some world beater on the feet. Assuming Hooker goes back to 55, thoughts on Hooker versus Green? I would like that fight. Yanez versus Nathaniel Wood, who you picking? I'd probably go Yanez in that one. Should Holland get a top 10 welterweight next? Top 10? No. Barely top 15. If anything. You know, either just outside the top 15. Let me look up the world rankings. Just for reference, because it's hard for me to think of all these fighters. World MMA rankings. He probably belongs fighting someone at like number, you know, I don't want to see him against number 15 currently in UFC rankings. That's Shavkat Rakhmonov. Going to wreck Holland. You look at 170, I wouldn't mind seeing him versus the winner of Chaos Williams versus, I forgot who he's fighting now for whatever reason. Randy Brown. Chaos Williams, Randy Brown winner could be fun. That'd be a lot of fun. Michelle Pereira could be fun. Nico Price could be fun. I definitely don't want to see him against Shavkat Rakhmonov. Daniel Rodriguez would be fun, but Daniel Rodriguez is huge himself. How? I don't know what that question is. Darren Till versus Uriah Hall predictions. I mean, both of those are just, they never show up half the time. I think Darren Till probably just outstrikes him to a decision, if I had to guess. Maybe do Holland versus the Leech. That'd be fair enough. What do you think? What do you think Ian Gary losing his next fight? I don't understand the question there. What do you think Ian Gary losing his next fight? Do I think Ian Gary loses his next fight? I don't know who is he. Does he have a fight right now? I don't know if he has a fight. Does he? Or are you asking who do I think? So he's fighting Darian Weeks at 273. Okay, I missed this one. I forgot about this one. He beats Darian Weeks, I think. But I don't trust him. Of all the people who've got a decent amount of hype right now, I think Ian Gary's one guy that's people are significantly overrating him. Topuria versus Barboza, who wins? Topuria. I don't trust Barboza's chin anymore. But it'd be interesting. I think Barboza could light him up on the feet, but probably Topuria just out-grapples him. I mean, Barboza, that's been his weakness for his entire career. But he does, I mean, it's usually been against elite level grapplers, but he's getting up there in age. Getting dominated in his last fight doesn't help my thoughts on it. So I'd probably go Topuria, takes him down. If Nick Diaz was moved down to welterweight, do you think Stephen Thompson is a good matchup for him since they're both older fighters and veteran in the sport? The Nick Diaz I saw at UFC 266 would get wrecked by pretty much anyone in the welterweight top 15. Wonder Boy probably beats the brakes off of him worse than Robbie Lawler did, and he probably quits again in the first round. This time, I think it went to did it go to the second round last time? Hall's supposed to fight Munez. Yes, he is. That's a great fight. Anthony Smith is one of those decent, well-rounded guys who wins by toughness and cardio, and he's very well-rounded, as you said. Why Max Griffin is fighting Magny should have gave the opportunity someone like Shavkat or Chaos Williams. I don't know. Maybe the UFC's high on Max Griffin. I don't mind the fight. I don't think Neil Magny is going to be a big win for anyone. I'm so glad they didn't make Chimaev versus Neil Magny. There was a lot of talk of that. Me personally, I had no desire to see that fight because I knew what was going to happen. And, you know, not that I don't want to see the Khamzat Chimaev hype train continue, but I want to see him test it. I don't want to see him go out there and just wax Magny. That's a waste of a fight, in my opinion. We all know he would beat Magny. Skip over that to someone else, in my humble opinion. Okay. Topuria versus Chandler or Arman is a banger. No. Topuria would be massively undersized. Massively undersized against either one of those guys. What do you think of Smith versus Ankalaev July 2nd? Ariel made it sound like it was a thing on his podcast this week. I wouldn't trust Ariel. But I wouldn't mind that fight. I still want to see Smith versus Rockage too. The fact that Smith was calling him out. Topuria versus Burgos, I like that idea. That's a good idea. Colby and Masvidal got in a fight tonight in a restaurant. Really? I didn't know that. I did not know that. Where did you see that information? Is there video of this? I hate to even search this up. I don't see anything. I don't see anything on MMA fighting, but fair enough. Fill me in on the details. I wouldn't be surprised if Topuria KOs Barboza out cold. And he's not only a grappler. Fair enough, and he has nasty power. Smoka versus Davey Grant prediction. I think Davey Grant waxes Luis Smoka. Will Ian Gary have visible herpes for his next fight? Also, top 15 bantamweights would wreck current Nick Diaz. Exactly. Couldn't be on a more of a same page. Yes, Ian Gary will. Free Masvidal. What, did Masvidal get arrested? Khamzat would sub him in round 1. Yeah, but that was an out-of-shape Nick Diaz, but him and Tony Ferguson would be fun at welterweight. Okay, fair enough. Remember when they were talking about Nick Diaz versus Khamzat Chimaev? Could you imagine? And I knew this at that point in time, but there was always that what if. Could you imagine what Khamzat Chimaev would have done to UFC 266 Nick Diaz? He would have broke him in half. It would have been a brutal beating. The dude would have tapped the strikes. It's on Google News. Okay, let's take a look-see. Jorge Masvidal. Colby Masvidal throwdown in Miami restaurant. Police called. So UFC stars and Jorge Masvidal got into a fight moments ago at Poppy's Steak restaurant in Miami. Police have been called. It's probably nothing. I'm gonna be honest. I think that it's probably going to end up being nothing. But if it is something, let's throw it. Let's throw it in the title right now. Masvidal versus Colby street fight, right? What should I name it? I don't know what to name it. I'll throw that in the title since we're talking about it. So there we go. Maybe we'll get some more traction. People searching that. But continue to let me know, guys, if you see any information, because I'm not looking at like Twitter or anything right now. Just let me know. Ian Gary versus Shavkat next if he wins his next fight. What are you trying to do to the man Ian Gary? The story broke about Colby Masvidal literally just broke. He pretty much tapped the strikes against Robbie. Yes, he did. Hey, Joey, just joined. What's good? Nothing much. What's going on? Who does Cowboy Cerrone fight next? I'm convinced I could beat the current Nick Diaz. I was going to say it, but I didn't want to say that. I did not want to say it. Nick, and you know what's funny, Hank? Did you notice when Nick Diaz quit against Robbie Lawler? I was probably the only. I didn't check every channel. I could not find anybody else anywhere saying what it was that Nick Diaz quit. So take that for what you will. UFC Fight Night London card better than the previous 3 pay-per-views combined. That's a little bit of an that's hyperbole there. Sandhagen versus Sean O'Malley or Ankalaev versus Yuri, which is a better matchup? Sandhagen versus Sean O'Malley or Ankalaev versus Yuri? I'll take Sandhagen versus Sean O'Malley. He would kill him. Remember when they tried to match him up with Kevin Holland? Yeah, Kevin Holland would have wrecked him too. Guys, why have we not liked the stream? Why are we not liking the stream? Like the stream. We got 30 people in here. We got 10 likes. So, do me a favor and do that for me. Do me a favor and like the stream, guys. I'm just fixing something real quick. I gotta fix this title. Save it. Okay. Logan has 20 on Hank, so I'll take 50 on Hank over Nick. Will you be surprised if Colby is the one to stop Khamzat train? No, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't expect it because I don't expect that fight to happen. Hooker versus Cowboy, since they are both slow starters, that's fair enough. But who does Cowboy fight next, though? I don't know. Winnable fight. London card, the best since 268. Thank you. What are we thanking? What thank you for? Hooker versus Moicano or Cowboy. Hey, I just got here. My fault, OG. I feel bad for Ian Barry. Everyone hates him, but it's very hard to like him. Way too happy and cringy. He's Sage Northcutt type weird. I haven't paid attention to him too much. I don't necessarily dislike him, but in the prolonged, like we've seen Paddy Pimblett fight, and we've seen him get clipped, but we haven't seen for a sustainable period of time him getting beat up. And maybe that's a little bit of an exaggeration for what I saw against for Ian Gary in his UFC debut, but I saw him getting outstriked for quite a bit of time. So I'm not very high on him at all. I don't have high hopes for him at all. I don't have super high hopes for Pimblett either, but Gary talks a lot. Gary talks a lot for where he's at currently in his skill set. Okay, let me just click this. Click this. Guys, can continue throwing questions in the chat. I'm just finishing up my video here for tomorrow. Choose specific video. My prediction videos are some of my favorite thing to do, so I hope you guys enjoy the prediction videos. You'll get one tomorrow. Hooker versus Topuria, maybe. Hooker has reached height, which Jai used to win early parts of the fight against Topuria. I don't want to see that. I want to see Hooker take a massive step back, in my opinion. I think he needs to take a step back and not fight, anybody crazy. Hooker versus Dan Ige, no. Hooker versus Sadiq, no. Maybe Hooker versus Barboza too? Or is that 3? No, they fought once. Who are you picking, Burns or Chimaev? Probably Chimaev. Who wouldn't Khamzat fight? Why wouldn't Khamzat fight Colby after he beats Burns? No way he gets a title shot. He shouldn't, at least. He's definitely going to get a title shot. But I'd like to see him fight Colby. But the UFC's not going to risk Colby derailing Khamzat when Colby's already fought the champion twice. Is Ian Gary more or less likely to get a belt than Paddy? I would say Ian Gary's less likely. I don't think either one's super likely, but Ian Gary's less likely. Joe, I'm curious, who's your favorite Diaz brother? Probably Nate Diaz, but I know you guys can't see it, so I'll pull it up, even though I pulled it up multiple times. And I recently did a members only video showing all these up close. I have a Nick Diaz autographed bobblehead. Look at that. Autographed right there on the bottom right here by my thumb. Take a look at that. You can kind of see it. If it ever focuses for you. Nick Diaz. Look at that. Look at that. I actually have a Dustin Poirier bobblehead coming soon. I have a Daniel Cormier. I buy all the notable fighters, regardless if even if I'm not a huge fan of them. But I am a huge fan of Nick. I'm a huge Diaz brother fan in general. I probably say I'd like Nate more, but I didn't see Nick fight as much. But I got Daniel Cormier, Nick Diaz, Jorge Masvidal, Demetrius Mighty Mouse. And what's funny is I don't particularly love any of those guys, but I like MMA memorabilia, especially autographed MMA memorabilia. Cowboy versus Joe Lozon is already booked. Yes, you're right. Thank you for reminding me. Burns is near the perfect test for Khamzat because I want to see him against somebody with a threat from the bottom. I agree. Who you got, Vera versus O'Malley, too? If that happens, I'll take Marlon Vera. I think he's going to brutally chop the legs again. O'Malley's going to fall to the ground and possibly get flash KO'd again and then stretchered out of the cage with no serious injury. Let me exit. I got a million tabs open, guys, so let me exit out of some of these tabs. Don't need that anymore. Don't need that anymore. Close that out. Don't need that anymore. Okay, we are good. Oh my, I'm falling behind on messages. How is it? It's 1 a.m., guys. What are you guys doing up right now? I got to go to bed soon, and my video's uploaded now. I'm going to stay on for maybe another 15 minutes. We'll see how it goes. Did Lozon retire, though? Pretty strange matchup. Yeah, Lozon did retire at some point, and then he came back. Every Patty fight has him eating one big punch, then finishing the guy soon after. Ian Gary just looks average. Hooker versus Caceres, maybe. How far do you think Topuria... That makes sense. Hooker versus Caceres makes a lot of sense. How far do you think Topuria can go at featherweight? I think he can go far. I think he's a top 10 fighter, probably. Ian Gary going to get the good juice at Stanford. Okay. O'Malley versus Pedro. Supposedly, that's what's rumored. Neil Magny versus Max Griffin. Who do you got? Probably Neil Magny, but I got to look into that fight more. Dylan Dennis sub Joe Lozon in a grappling match, and it was pretty entertaining. I don't ever pay attention to what Dylan Dennis is doing, so I would never know. So, thank you for informing me. I'm so tired of seeing Dylan Dennis talk in general online. Colby will get the winner of Khamzat versus Usman. Khamzat double champ coming up. That's dope. Sip bobblehead. Dustin is scared of Colby. That's crazy. Did it come signed or did you get it signed? So there's a guy that makes these bobbleheads. First off, I think my camera's a little bit off right here. Let me adjust it a little bit. I usually have it like right there. He makes the bobbleheads, and then he sets up a deal with the fighters, and he sells them signed and unsigned. Obviously, the autograph version is more expensive, but I always order the autograph version. He has a bunch that he's done. I have 4 of them. He has a Derek Lewis one. He has a Cowboy one. He has a Bruce Buffer one. And he just recently came out with a Dustin Poirier one. So I pretty much ordered all the releases since they come out. Outside, there was like a Misha Tate one. I was like, I don't want that. The Derek Lewis one, I was iffy. But the Dustin Poirier one looks pretty sick, so I had to get that one as well. And that's already shipped out. That should be here soon. That'll be coming soon. I really like what the guy does. The box art is incredible. The design of the bobblehead is incredible. I love everything about it. So I posted a video. If you guys want to see all my MMA memorabilia, I have a bunch of autographs. I have those bobbleheads behind me. I have a bunch of MMA memorabilia. I posted a members only video on the channel where I go through and film all my MMA memorabilia and talk about it a little bit. If you guys want to become a member, there's a bunch of benefits, including the members only Discord, which basically pays for itself, but we have a great community there. We talk every day about all the latest news, but you also get badges next to your name, custom emojis, including a Khamzat Chimaev emoji. If you want to become a member and support the channel, it costs $3. You can cancel anytime, and you will always be a part of the Discord. The link is down in the description. Greatly appreciate it. And your name will pop up on this stream if you become a member right now. Dustin is scared of Colby. Already read that. When will we get an MMA autograph bobblehead? I don't know. We'll see. Makhachev says he beats Colby and Masvidal the same night. I don't know. I think Colby's too big for Islam, but I think it'd be fun. Where's your favorite Conor? Conor doesn't have a bobble. I'd buy Conor. Believe it or not. Masvidal mad because Colby has been parading a custom King of Miami belt today. Okay. O'Malley will be champ. Y'all being so hard on him for taking it slow. Dude's young, playing it smart. No serious injury gets me every time. Late stream, what's your time zone and location? Geez, you want my social security number and blood type too? Um, East Coast. I'm a little bit tired right now. East Coast, it is 1:05 a.m. Would you be shocked if O'Malley would you be shocked if O'Malley is not stretchered out in a rematch? Yes, I would be shocked, not to see O'Malley in a stretcher. In a stretcher. I mean on a stretcher. Brother said send location. Yeah, you want my blood? You want my firstborn son too? Does John Jones fight this year? Yes. Alex Pereira versus Darren Till should be made. You have a death wish for Darren Till. Joey, you're a madman. What are you doing up so late? I made a Kai Kara France versus Askar Askarov prediction video, and I figured I'd jump on while I was rendering. It's done now, but I just feel obligated to hang out now. Plus, I always have fun doing this. I'm actually pretty tired, though, and I got to get up early tomorrow. So I'm probably going to die tomorrow. So if you guys don't see any more videos from me, just comment on this stream and say RIP. Violet. I think you've asked me this before. You should do a video on who you think will be champ by the end of the year for each division. I did one in early January. You can still find it on the channel. It's relatively easy to find. Just go to the channel and look at early January, and I posted it then. Misha Tate bobblehead, LOL. Yeah, I mean, that last performance by Misha Tate was a joke. But he has trouble striking deals with these fighters because he's a very small company. And obviously the fighters want to make money off of him. So he has a little trouble kind of getting people. But he has a Nate Diaz one that he makes ones for himself that he's never able to release. He has a sick Nate Diaz one right after the Conor fight when he's looking into the camera. He's got the blood everywhere. He wants to release that. He hopes to get a deal with Nate Diaz eventually, but he's had it made for years. Obviously not mass produced because he can't sell it till he gets a deal. How much bread are we talking for one of those? It ranges from 100 to about 200. I think my Jorge Masvidal one was about 100. What was Dustin Poirier? Let me tell you what Dustin Poirier was right now. I ordered it, a little bit ago. MMA bobblehead. My Dustin Poirier with shipping was 190. So not too bad. I mean, I would say average is about 150 to 199 for the autograph version. For the non-autographed, I think it's about 100 always. But a couple years ago, they were a little bit cheaper. So it's not super expensive, but it's not super cheap. And he only comes out with a couple per year. Let me go to his website right now. MMA bobblehead. A lot of people don't know about him. I want to kind of get the Bruce Buffer. Dustin Poirier. I kind of want to get the Derek Lewis one. But I kind of was like, Derek Lewis hasn't been around for a long time. He quits quite a bit in fights when he's losing. I kind of didn't want. They have a Joanna Jacek, Bruce Buffer, Brian Ortega. I did not want. I wasn't around when I didn't even know it existed when Chuck Liddell's one came out. Why does that one say there's 2 left? The Dan Henderson one I would buy. Apparently there's 2 left right now. No, it says sold out. But I already have Dan Henderson's autograph. I kind of want to buy the Bruce Buffer one, but it's 225. That's crazy. I have the DC one. They have 2 different versions of the DC one. The Mighty Mouse Johnson one is 160. The DC in his wrestling singlet is 199. The regular DC one is 160. The Nick Diaz one is 180. These are all the autograph ones. Jorge Masvidal sold out. Bruce Buffer is so expensive. Cowboys 199. Derek Lewis is 179. So, do you think Khamzat has shown enough and proven enough to be considered a double champ in the future? Or is it too soon? It's far too soon. Joey, would you be annoyed if Usman gets KO'd by Conor for deciding not to grapple? I'd be super annoyed. I don't think that would happen, though. I don't think he's putting Usman out. Askarov versus Kai will be fight of the night. Who you got? My prediction video will be out tomorrow, so I'm not going to spoil it. Connor has no chance against Usman, but make sure you keep an eye out for it. It'll be out tomorrow. Who's your favorite and least favorite UFC commentator? I don't know. Favorite, I'll just say Paul Felder. Least favorite, probably DC. Joey low-key funny. Lamau. What did I say now? What did I say? From each country, who do you think is the best? USA. John Jones, Russia, Khabib, Brazil, Anderson Silva, Canada, GSP, England, Michael Bisping, Nigeria, Kamaru Usman, Australia, Alexander Volkanovski. I think I would agree with all those besides maybe Brazil. And I love Anderson, but maybe Aldo. But I'd probably go with Anderson and Aldo are tied for Brazil. USA, best pound for pound fighter in the USA. Probably Jones too. So I pretty much agree with all yours. Maybe Adesanya, but I don't know if Adesanya, technically, I think that's just his heritage. He's really from where I don't even know, New Zealand or whatever. Australians definitely Alexander Volkanovski. Joe, what has Sean done for you to not see him as a future champion? Did I ever say he wasn't not see a future champ in him? I don't know if I've ever said he's not a future champ, but he just hasn't proven anything yet. Muffle Max is laughing about something. I don't know what I said. What did I say? You from Philly, bro? I think remember you saying you were from Philly. No, I'm from Baltimore. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. Sean O'Malley ain't no champ material. He hasn't proven anything yet. He's beaten nobodies at this point in time. Man, I really hope Jones fights again soon. I'd like to see if he still got it. I know it's going to be sad, though. Even if you don't like Jones and he comes back and he's just terrible and he loses, it's going to suck that we lost out on all these prime years for Jones. Would you rather see Paulo Costa versus Strickland or Paulo versus Rocco? Paulo versus Strickland. Aspinall versus Gane, who you got? I'll take Aspinall. Hey, Joey, what's your favorite fight for both Volk and Zombie? Also, how do you feel about Zombie's walkout song? Definitely one of my favorites. First off, Zombie's walkout song is basically iconic at this point. What's your favorite fight for both Volk and Zombie? What's my favorite fight in their career? Is that what you're asking? Alexander Volkanovski. No. I searched Alexander Volkov. I don't want to see a bum. Probably when he melted Chad Mendes, to be quite honest. It was filthy. I would say Chad Mendes. As far as, what was the other one? Zombie? Zombie has some crazy fights. That's going to be a tough one. Favorite fight for Korean Zombie? The Yair Rodriguez fight was insane, but he lost. Oh, man. There's been so many good fights by him. It's probably the Yair Rodriguez fight, and it was kind of back and forth. The Mark Hominick fight is one of the first fights I've ever seen live of Korean Zombie. So I'll say the Mark Hominick fight, 7-second KO for Korean Zombie. Costa versus Strickland would force Strickland to get into a jab fest. It would turn scrappy. You into UFC cards at all? Plus some of them go for crazy money like 10K plus. You into UFC cards at all? Oh, no, I would like to, but I from what I've seen, they're too expensive. Strickland or Till, get the Bruce Buffer one. Guys, I need the donations. If you guys, I need the Bruce Buffer bobblehead. There's only 2 left. It's $225. If you guys send $100 in donations, I'll pay for the rest of it, and I'll get the Bruce Buffer bobblehead. You will see it behind me in the near future. So donate to the channel. Donate to the channel. If you want to donate through PayPal, I have a link down in the description as well. Quite a few people have donated through PayPal recently. Thank you guys. How many videos do you plan on doing for the Volk Zombie card? Let me take a look. Okay, definitely the main event. Definitely the co-main event. Definitely the third fight. Definitely the fourth fight. Definitely the fifth fight. At least 5 prediction videos, maybe 6, maybe 7. I'm definitely doing a full breakdown of prediction for Volkanovski Jung, Sterling Yan, Dern Tisha Torres, Gastelum versus Amivov, Burns versus Chimaev. This is out of order, obviously. I might do one for Irene Aldana versus Aspen Ladd, and I might throw in an Ian Gary versus Darian Weeks. So I don't know. I get stressed even thinking about it because I don't like to do them too soon, but it takes a lot of work because it's hard to remember everything. So I got to go back and watch recent fights, decide who I'm going to pick to win, and then give you guys as much information, make different things. It's a lot of work. I'm going to start early on that one. In what round do you think McGregor is going to knock out Usman? No Parker Porter bobblehead. Angelo Kaz, go watch my Curtis Blades versus Chris Dawkins video. I talk about Parker Porter in there. Have you seen wrestling and sparring with Costa? Do you think he would do well in the UFC? I have no idea. I have not seen it. When you look at how deep 135 is, do you find it silly O'Malley is ranked where he is? I just don't see him competing with almost any of the wrestlers. Probably, but I haven't really put that much thought into it. Silva Aldo, I think they're on the same level. I have a massive Anderson Silva autograph. And Anderson Silva is my favorite fighter of all time. Silva is the one that got me into the sport. I will never forget him subbing Chael after losing the entire fight. Subbing him in the 5th round. Incredible. That's what got me hooked on MMA. That's the moment that made me become a fan. So I will forever love Anderson Silva. It sucked to see him go out the way he did. But, I mean, the guy went out there to entertain. The guy was a special athlete. The guy was unbeatable for a period of time. What he did to guys like Yushin Okami, Forrest Griffin, he made decent guys look like absolute scrubs. And that's impressive to me. And then to beat Chael Sonnen. And also, I hate to be this guy, and maybe it's just a fanboy in me, but I truly do believe this. I don't think it's rooted in biased. I think he can beat Chris Weidman. I just think it was a fluky KO and then a fluky leg break. I think he would light Weidman up on the feet and eventually find the KO. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see those fights play out. It is what it is. Stoked to see my first show at UFC Columbus. Bum Suwoo Choi's fight is canceled. Not the most stacked card to follow up in London, but hopefully it turns out to be a low-key banger. I hope it's amazing. McGregor does nothing to annoy me at this point, especially if he gets a title shot. Okay? Volk, Jan, Khamzat are easy picks for no. Probably, but still, I like to give a lot of background and really dissect it. So, and who knows? I might pick against those guys. Colby lost his tooth, apparently, what Masvidal said on Twitter. That's crazy, but I don't trust Masvidal's manager. Khamzat will beat Gilbert Burns. Fair enough. I honestly feel like O'Malley can stuff takedowns better than we think. That's if anyone shoots on him. Piotr Jan will beat Aljamain Sterling. Facts. Angelo, he'd get his leg kicked in the head so quick. I lost my life savings because of Corey McKenna. JK. It was a bad weekend, though. Fair enough. 100% John Johns is a secret PED suspension. I always wondered, can you Americans understand Patty? Do you need Google Translate? I can understand about 20% of what he says. Alexander Volkanovski will beat the Korean Zombie. Who is your favorite fighter? Right now, active, probably Aldo, maybe Robbie Lawler. All-time, Anderson Silva. TKO, TKZ, TKO, watch. That'd be crazy. Zombie, Garcia, WEC. Yeah, that was a crazy fight. I did not see that live. Who do you think had the better rivalry? The Diaz brothers? Was it Nate Connor or Nick GSP? I'll say Nate Connor, just because that's the one I enjoyed more. Darren Till versus Marvin Vettori. Darren Till will get wrecked. Do you think Colby beats Izzy at middleweight? Absolutely not. You should get a Bruce Buffer cameo for $400. Hell no. Kevin Holland versus Steven Thompson. That's good. I retired from sports betting after UFC 269. My parlay hit with a Ryan Hall dub, Sean O'Malley dub, then Nunes lost to Pena. Lost me to Pena. That sucks. Aldana via murder versus Ladd. Damn, I forgot Burns Chimaev was on that card. That card will be fired. Great, amazing card. I don't know why the thought of Jones running back to the car crash for a bag of Coke makes me laugh every time. Dustin Poirier versus Islam Makhachev. Dustin Poirier loses. If you have to watch Tony take another beating on that card, it might just ruin it for me. That's 274, and he's going to win. So you think wrestlers have gained impact over strikers recently? Yes. Dominic Cruz versus Sean O'Malley. Joey, do you really think GSP cherry-picked Bisping? I don't think I know. And I'm a GSP fan. He cherry-picked Bisping and then he dipped out before fighting any hard competition at middleweight. He saw a fluke champion in Michael Bisping and he said, you know what? I'm coming back and I'm going to take that second belt and get a big paycheck. And he cherry-picked Michael Bisping. Makes me think differently of him. But it is what it is. When will Chimaev move back up into middleweight? Not unless he wins a welterweight title or if he loses to Burns. I see no way Burns beats Chimaev. Too small, sus cardio, chinny, quitter, etc. Khamzat first round stoppage. Good morning, Joey. Do you think Ilya Patty will ever fight? The size not a problem. Remember Chad Mendes versus Connor? I doubt it. I don't think Patty wants it, and I don't think the UFC wants it. Big agree. If Silva didn't play so much in the first, he would have got it done, but the second time was a horrible incident. Yep. Man, Burns' stock skyrockets if he stops Khamzat. Agreed. But Hamzat's stock, I mean, I don't know if it skyrockets because it's already so high. Who was Wonderboy's best win? I don't remember. Probably Vicente Luque. Dominated Vicente Luque a couple years back. Oh my goodness. I clicked on his stupid YouTube channel. Wonderboy Thompson's career. He doesn't have, I mean, at the time, the Johnny Hendricks win back in 2016 was phenomenal. So probably that one. Any video about Parker Porter, I will check out, good sir. I will watch the Dawkins vs. Blades video after this. Sheesh, Angelo, that bread marker. I hope you put a decent amount down. Hit a plus 647 parlay with Shore, Craig, Taporia. Craig and Shore both won, good dogs, and then Taporia, the favorite, got head kicked and almost hung myself. He came back, though, so all good. That would have sucked. Just remember, I have Aljo in this next fight. You can quote me on that. I will. I understand Habib and his boy more than Patty Pimlet. Agreed, but Volkov beats TKZ. Volkanovski, my bad. Well, some people call him Volk instead, not Volkov, but Gaethje will KO Oliveira. Gaethje, that could happen. That could very well happen. Nick Diaz versus GSP was a good rivalry, but the fight was a dud. Then Nick had 1,000 excuses for why he lost. Gamebred and Colby just fought. What do you think? I want to see a video. I would like to see a video, but it's going to be real interesting. It's going to be real interesting. Maybe we end up getting that. Could you imagine they do that rematch? I agree. I'm a big OG GSP fan, but he cherry-picked Bisping. We're on the same page there. What would be your reaction if Khamzat beat Usman and GSP announced his return against Khamzat? Highly unrealistic, but what would be your reaction? I would flip out. There's no way GSP wants to come back and fight a guy like Khamzat. Drop them picks in the live stream Saturday once you find them locks. Okay. I don't think Tony can weather the storm from Michael, and that's not because I think Tony's washed. Michael's a madman, and the ref may be quick to stop the fight. All right, Joey. Jim on the West Coast, and it's bedtime. Rip Joey. Will Brendan Allen gets canceled for beating a hooker at UFC London? Why'd you call him Brendan Allen? It's Arnold Allen. But no. Joey, I'm curious, how do you feel about Chandler Ferguson? I love his fight, but I'm also hate it as well for Tony. I see Chandler doing terrible things to Tony, and Tony's getting up there in age. I think Chandler wins the first round. He starts to get tired, and Chandler gets finished late by TKO. Apparently Masvidal is a moron. Apparently he learned nothing. Okay. Did I know Allen moved down to featherweight? I'll dip into Joey's stream on Saturday. We'll let you know my picks. Yes, sir. What you a believer on Rory to become the next GSP and become a dominant champion? I was 50-50 on that. What Colby and Jorge fought in the streets? Supposedly. Yes, supposedly at a restaurant. Google it. Patty the Fatty was seen eating. Apparently Violet, but can't find a video myself. Okay. All right, guys. I appreciate you all joining me for the stream. I caught up to everyone in the chat. I will be back Wednesday night for the weekly live chat. Probably not a bunch of videos this week, just because I have a bunch of things I have to do this week. I'm gonna see, it might not end up happening. I might end up having time, and not be super tired and being able to do the videos. But worst case scenario, I will see you Wednesday. Thank you guys all for joining me. Do me a favor before you leave this stream. Make sure to like the stream. I need your guys' help. It helps grow the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy the rest of your week. And I will talk to you all very, very soon. See you later.